I'll say I'm excited because it's a Ford and everyone knows me about my Fords, but we're in, if everyone can see, we're in a Focus RS, aren't we, Kurt?
We are indeed, a very nice one it is too.
Little treat for his birthday today.
Thanks for that. Yes, I had the pleasure of choosing the car at Mk today, given it's my birthday, and I chose this, Focus RS. We have a Ford man with us.
Well, considering that I've had that many Mk2 STs, then a Mk2 RS, and then all the new STs, which this is where my argument's going to come into play where this is concerned.
He does know what he's talking about.
I think this, for all it is an RS, I think it's a bit ST-ish, especially inside. And
so what you're saying, you'd probably want it to differentiate itself a bit more?
When this was due to come out, owning a Mk2 RS, which I had, I was expecting, like the Mk2 was, I expected flared wheel arches, bonnet vents. Even if it was going to be a 5-door, still could have been done. But we're expecting a bit more drama like what they did with the Mk2. And I look at it sometimes, and for all there is parts of this car I love, I look at it and I still think, I think you just had a bit of a, I don't know, let's just be on the safe side and keep it a bit ST.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's 100% worthy of the RS badge, but that's just my opinion.
I suppose there's an element of the fact that obviously the ST has been so successful that they maybe didn't want to change the recipe too much.
I know we thought a lot of it's obviously going to be cost.
Yeah.
With the same body shell and things like that, much easier to produce.
Well, like me and Martin have discussed off camera, I think the general consensus is that what you get when you pay for an RS is probably more under the skin than what you see. I think the money, the engineering budget and the money that you pay as a customer has probably been spent on the engine and the drivetrain.
Don't get me wrong, it sounds nice.
Yeah.
It has the modes and it has...
You've got your different drive modes down here, of course. Yeah.
We've got the drift like a douchebag button and all that, things like that. And there's going to be a lot of these written off, I think, because of that. You've got the sound, and we know a lot of it's amplified.
It has got a fantastic,
and it's all-wheel drive system and the lot, and it all works beautifully. As a technical exercise, how this car performs, 100%.
Yeah, it is. If you look at the interior, it is very similar just to a regular Focus.
It is very similar. Climbing in this is no different, hardly, to me, climbing in some of the STs.
But then again, what can they do really to?
Well, to be fair, and a lot will say this, the Mk2 ST had the same interior roughly as the Mk2 RS. Yeah. With the turbo gauges and everything same. It's only because it had the bucket seats and things like that which separated.
Yeah.
It was an identical thing, but at least when you climbed out of the car, then you saw the difference.
Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting subject because obviously with the RS, this RS, you have a few options which you didn't have before. With the Mark 1 RS, Focus RS, which I had the pleasure of going in once, phenomenal car. You had the Sparco bucket seats, didn't you?
Yeah, there was no option with that one.
With the Mark 2, of course, you had your, I think they were Recaros,
as standard, you got the Recaro bucket seats.
Yeah. Now with this one, you have, I think it's 3 options, isn't it? You've got these seats here, which is, I suppose in effect the comfort seats. They're essentially the same as you'd find in an ST. Now you have the option of them having, as in this car, with the half leather, or again you have the option to upgrade to the Recaros, don't you?
The Recaro bucket seats.
Yeah.
The thing was now that you see, when it was the RSs of the time, the Mark IIs, they called them Lux packs and things like that, and you got certain things, reversing cameras, sat nav, better DAB digital radio. Now they're calling them stages, I believe, with this.
Yeah.
And it's like a stage 2 and so on, but a lot of people might say, why do you want, in a car like this, seats that are half leather and only fabric? Why don't you just go for the actual bucket seats? Because to me, the bucket seats
is RS,
that was what RS was about.
Yeah.
Being different, because you couldn't get bucket seats in any spec of an ST.
I think, again, this brings us back to the fact that Ford are trying to cover all bases here. Obviously, there are people who just will not want bucket seats. And
there is a thing
but they
where
still
you
want the
adjust,
performance.
You could not adjust them the same.
Yeah, and I suppose you can't really blame them for offering it all.
Oh, no.
I know what you're saying with the Recaro seats mean RS to you, and that's understandable. I was a bit unsure about the seats. They look very, even though these are, like I say, effectively the comfort seats, they do look very sort of bucket-like. But I have to say, I am impressed. This is an extremely comfortable car.
Well, as people may remember, my yellow ST3 was filmed for a very early episode.
I think it was the first one, wasn't it?
One of the first ones. And that was an ST3 that had the seats very similar to this, but they were full leather. And I found the seats great.
I have to say, this car, the driving machine, is... I'm very comfortable in these seats. They seem to give you just the right amount of support.
I thought I've tried to separate it a bit to make it knowledgeable that you're in an RS.
Yeah.
Your turbo gauges on this obviously highlighted in blue, whereas the ST's highlighted.
As is, of course, the stitching on the steering wheel.
You get the blue
and
stitching,
the badge there,
you get a badge. Everything
gear knob
is done in blue, whereas ST's were done in red. You're still getting exactly, and now this is one thing I thought Ford might have done. You've got these like little strip lightings which have in the footwells, and for your handles, and above to shine down. Ford, if you were sticking to a blue theme with RS logos and that, why didn't you make these blue? Just a simple touch. Why couldn't you have made these blue? Because you've got your kick plates, which I believe they light up, because BST did. Now they light up in the blue. So little things, could you have just tried a little bit harder? And that's my gripe. I think there's been bits where they've thought, no, we'll just leave it at that, we might as well, it'll do.
Yeah, I think this is probably, I think like you say, like you mentioned off camera of course, that if this was your first fast forward, I think you'd probably be fine. Don't
get me wrong, if I hadn't have had I had 3 STs of the shape we know now. Well, the other 2 was the first ones. My Tangerine Scream one, the ST3, was a facelift one. But they're all the same car, and if I hadn't have had them, and this was my first Ford to look at thinking I can afford it, blah, 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 I think I'll have it. Yes, I'd have it.
Yeah.
Because this black colour, I actually think is one of the best colours.
I think it looks stunning on the RS.
I think it looks a bit stealthy. It looks more meaner and aggressive for some reason.
And I think it's helped on this car by the fact this car's also got the optional lightweight wheels, hasn't it?
Yeah.
In black.
I think it goes well with the black wheels and the blue calipers. The nitrous blue, I can't understand it has been, but seems to be a bit of a popular colour.
It does seem popular, yeah. I think the black works well on this car. I say you've got the blue calipers and RS badges and things like that, and then you've got all the blue things inside, so
everything goes well.
It really fits on this car. It's got a fantastic theme going on.
I always liked how, even with a standard Focus, I always liked how they did the design of this dash. How it all swept down in the middle. I used to love how everything seemed to be sweeping towards you and within really easy reach. I found that with all my STs and that. But we can't escape its performance. We know we're talking up to 350 brake horsepower.
And that's standard as well.
That is standard without being tuned in anyway.
It's obviously common knowledge that you can tune up a fair bit more than that, can't you?
The only thing I find a bit with standard of the miles per hour, we're only talking less about 165 miles per hour. Based on the fact my Mk2 was 163 miles per hour, there's not much of a change there, but it's the way it deploys its power and how it handles. I mean, we're talking about 60-10 and 4.7 now on this. Much different to what my Mk2 was.
It has to be said, you know, I mean, so this car's got a standard, as far as we're aware, this particular car is totally stock, a standard figure of 350 horsepower. You've got the practicality of a family car, the back seats, the boot. It has to be said that, you know, what really more do you want out of a car?
I think if you've never had many fast Fords and you want an RS of this spec and time now like this, I'd say it's a damn good car to have. You wouldn't be let down. But if you're a bit like me and slightly old school due to my age and things like that, and no puns intended and all that, but I feel I got more out of the Mk2 than I would with this.
Yeah. When the Focus first came out 20 years ago, who would have thought that we'd be talking about a 350 horsepower power figure out of the Focus?
Well,
I think it's just incredible. Realistically speaking, Obviously, there are cars that are a lot more powerful than that, but realistically, 350 horsepower, it's all you're ever going to need, isn't it?
Yeah,
let's be honest. You know,
I can see there's going to be a lot of accidents with cars like this, and a lot of them written off. So certain ones may become exclusive cars to have, because there won't be many of them knocking about in good nick.
Obviously, the most exclusive version of the RS at the moment, and probably will be, to be honest, is of course the Heritage Edition, which they've made 50.
Now you see the colour of that. I think I like that colour. I really wish if they was going to make a very limited one, why didn't Ford make one as a 3-door option, just to show as a technical exercise how different it could look.
Yeah.
And I would like to have seen. I'm a bit crazy this way with things, but they've gone to town on certain things on the front, especially with this car. But I don't think it would have cost Ford, a massive company like Ford, too much to pop a couple of bonnet vents in.
Yeah.
Just to give it a little aggressive look.
Or at least even available as a factory option, maybe. Because some people might want to.
I know now there's aftermarket things, and you can now. There's companies all over the country that will do bonnet vents for any cars.
I mean, you can get carbon fibre kits for the RS, carbon bonnets.
Actually, there's a lot of things you can get now for these spec cars, for these RSs. Maybe with it being black, this is why this one would appeal to me, because I think it's like a blank canvas. I could do a lot of things to this and change it and make it a little bit unique.
Yeah.
And I think black would go well doing that. But I still, where I'm sat now, looking at the controls and that, and I still feel I'm in an ST until you start it.
And we have started the car.
And it actually started, and I
Martin started it.
I want to drive off in it, but I have gone through the modes and popped the accelerator down.
There is a slight difference, of course, in the exhaust noise. You've got your normal mode, you've got your
normal. You've got your sport, and then you've got your race.
Yeah.
Which then it starts warning you that you're not on the racetrack and do you realise you're doing this and all that? And again, I don't like warnings like that, because if they put a thing in a car like that, why are they warning you? If they don't want you to use it, don't include it.
But yeah, generally speaking, any more thoughts on the interior or any more?
Well, on the interior I can spot here, we haven't got heated seats obviously. Now I remember in my ST3 I had heated seats, full leather, all electrical adjustable and heated seats.
I've not seen an RS with them. Now whether they're not available,
I don't think you sort of can now, because with these, I don't know, could you have a heated seat feature? I don't know.
The only time I've seen heated seats in a Focus, well, ST, is when it's had the full leather on the ST3. Now obviously the regular Focus, I think it's the Titanium X, the standard, has half leather seats and they're heated. But yes, I've not seen an RS with them.
I mean, we've got reversing camera and things like this with this. It does have something. It has one thing I do like, and Ford are a bit hit and miss with this. It has the door protectors. I had an ST3 in the Spirit Blue which had them, and then when I got my Tangerine Scream ST3, it didn't have them.
Now this is an interesting one, because I believe they're, I think, about £85 factory option when they have these door protectors.
Yeah, maybe Ford leave them up on some cars. I'd like you to go and spend £85 to have them put on. I've
seen them on regular Focuses, I've seen them on, obviously on this, so I think every RS has had them, hasn't it, I believe.
Yeah, but at one point I think we're trying to make out that it was a new thing for the RS, look at what it comes with sort of thing, but as many people that's owned the cars before will know, you could get them on some Focuses anyway.
I've seen them on also, even sort of regular spec Focuses. But brilliant idea though, because you can, if you park next to a wall or something like that, you can gently rest the door on the wall without damaging the paintwork. And obviously lots of protectors that you can get for edges of car doors. If you leave them, the ones that are permanent, they stay on. When you take them off, often you find it there's quite scratched underneath.
They can
obviously with these that doesn't happen, because basically when you're not using them and the door's shut, the air's still getting to the to the area.
It is a very good idea. Simple, effective idea.
Why all cars don't have this, I want no idea. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and sounds silly, but one of the best features of the car, I think, almost.
I do like the idea. There is little things on this, obviously, if you buy the engine, its performance and all that do lift away from the ST, but there's also little things I think they could have done. And there are very simple things as well. Hence, like I said, the bonnet vents and things like that. It does have some road presence, and there'll be a lot that prefer this over the Mark II. It's each to their own. But I still believe the Mark II had more of a road presence.
I would agree with that.
Even just stood without the engine running, stand them side by side, and the Mark II just looked like it were on steroids, and this one just looked like it's sort of...
Didn't even need the RS badges for that one, I don't think.
People who didn't know what cars were, if you were driving down the road in one, they would look at it because they think, oh, look at that, I've had seen one of them about. What is it? And I think this could drive past.
It certainly had road presence, absolutely no doubt about it.
But no, I'd still have it.
I have to say, like I say, I'm looking for something similar, and this car is brilliant. I love the interior. That's a bit regular Focus
Don't
line.
get me wrong, with all the STs I've had, this is a very good usable interior. It is. It's laid out well. I really found everything great with the STs I had with this interior, and it's no different with the RS.
That's the interior of the RS.
That's the interior. My favourite of this is, it's the colour, but is the front, as we will see. But it's up there, but it's not just up there.
Well, on that note, let's go and take a look at the outside of the RS.
Yeah. Now then, firstly, before we mention the outside, I just see Malcolm's here now at last.
Yeah, I'm late to the party.
Yeah, he's never late, he brings the equipment. He thought he wanted chipping in on the outside of this car, and I don't blame him actually. Where you can see we stood first, I think you'll agree with me on this. I think the front looks good.
It does, it looks really, really good.
This, I think, is what, to me, a lot of the cars are about, is presence and what you see coming towards you.
And from the front, it looks brilliant. It's distinctive because you haven't got the mesh on the grille, you've got the bar going across where everything sits.
Everything with this front separates it from an ST front, doesn't it, in every way. But you see, after that, I think this is where my argument starts.
I'm kind of agreeing with you on that argument.
It gets now a bit too ST-ish. Whereas remember with the Mark II, you had your different front, but the theme continued, didn't it?
It did. Having said that though, on the Mark III ST, you didn't get the badges by the door.
No, they did away with that after the Mark II STs, they stopped doing that.
And I remember yours, you put those back in.
Because I had a graphic place do some imitation ones for me in a certain style that looked like a curved vent. They give a 3D effect of a vent with the ST logo, but they're completely flat. And I did it to change the car slightly. I also did the bottom lip spline, blanked it out, just to separate it a bit from other cars. But it's simple things like that, which I remember with the Mark II RS, where we had them vents with the logo, which I still think Ford could have done with this, and it would have separated it more from the ST.
Yeah, because when you get beyond here, it's Focus.
It is. My brother has got a 17 plate black Focus ST line, and from here on, it's no different.
Whereas the Mark II RS was different panel left, flared out.
In fact, he actually even gets a badge on the side, like my Fiesta ST line, he gets a badge on the side. So there you go.
The ST line gets a badge.
So they're more upmarket. But yeah, you've got to argue the fact it's because I've had my Mark II, I've driven it, I've loved it, I've liked the way it's handled, performed, and looked.
Yeah.
When I see this, I think it's just too much ST-ish.
I kind of agree, but when you've got to look at the whole package.
But then when you come to the front and you see the front, you think, oh, that's screaming RS, and it is.
But also, you get this. You have the door on your spoiler.
I kind of like this in a way, I don't think it's as good as the Mark II one, but I still kind of like this. Let's not forget the noises that come from this as well. They sound brilliant. We've been revving this up and it does sound the dogs, but there is a massive part of it that's synthesised and amplified into the car as well. And at least with your 5-pot Volvo engine in your Mark II RS, what you've got directly from under the bonnet, you've got that noise from there because it's all genuine.
There's nothing wrong with the car. Let's make this very, very clear.
Yeah, as a car it's brilliant.
Nothing wrong with the car. It is brilliant. The all-wheel drive system works really well. When you're looking at the different modes and you're using the drift mode, the way it handles that is genius. The way it works is it spins the back wheels ever so slightly faster to bring the back out of line.
Yeah.
And then the computer's then handling a lot of things to make sure you don't go stupid. Because
it complements you very well.
It does. It complements your driving very well, but of course it's not perfect. It's a tool to make a tool look good.
Yes.
A really good driver will be able to make the drift mode really stand out.
Yeah. The
average driver will be able to make the drift mode work for them. The idiot will end up in a ditch.
At the time of the Mark II RS, there was none of this. Every bit of the power was to the front wheels and you had to cross your fingers. But I think that's what made it a damn good car.
So we've got twin exhausts, which are functional, both sides are functional.
I think they kept the same sort of theme as the Mark II RS, but a bit of an updated version, haven't they?
Yeah, they are. I mean, they've got the twin exhaust, you've got the rear reverse light right in the middle.
I'm not so sure about that.
This is the ultimate styling for the Focus, really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay, there could be a few things that could be changed. There's plenty of aftermarket things that do that. But everywhere you look, there is that feeling of that'll do. I understand it from a money point of view. The Mark II RS was incredibly expensive for Ford to actually bring out because quite a lot of it was bespoke parts just for that car.
It was.
And I can sort of understand why they've done it, especially with the drift mode, where somebody might end up in a ditch. If you're going to have that kind of mode and that kind of risk, you've got to make the car as standard as possible, just for the end user. It's an absolutely beautiful car though, and it sounds really, really nice. It does.
I was looking for a fast Ford and I could afford this, and I thought, I want an RS. Yeah. Without a shadow of a doubt, I'd go for it. Especially in this colour, on these wheels, as it is. I actually prefer this black in the RS over the nitrous blue.
I do actually. I mean, nitrous blue makes the bumper stand out a little bit more. And this, in the dark, if you're just passing casually and you don't really know, it wouldn't stand out so much.
It wouldn't.
The thing that narks me is this looks great in black. If you wanted the nitrous blue, it costs you more.
It costs you, same as it costs you to have the bucket seats in it.
I get the reason why we've got the half leather, not, people don't like full leather. Some people just don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I even had my ST3 Tangerine Scream and it had full heated seats, full leather, the lot. You may have seen it on his early videos.
I remember driving it.
And Malcolm even drove it straight back home. Going down that street, you realise what the suspension is like. Yeah, you do.
Spine killing.
Yeah.
Ow. Really, ow.
As a first car, if I hadn't had the cars I'd had, I'd have it as it stands like this and I'd be happy with it. It's how a car makes you feel, and I always said my Mark II could have had a small engine in it, but I would have still had it, and that's what it was about for me. But me, being a Ford man, I still rate the thing. I just don't think it's as up with the Mark II as it could have been. So I think we've really stripped this car down, haven't we?
The only thing that lets this car down is Ford.
Maybe. Maybe.
The car itself, believe me, it really is brilliant.
Yeah.
With the all-wheel drive, it works perfectly. It just works.
And as we know, they've made the red edition and now heritage and that, or they made only around about 50.
So, that was the Focus RS.
Mk3. You notice I'm still clutching the key because after revving it up a bit, I love the sound of it. I'd be happy with that all day long.
I'm going to prize the key.
You are a four-man through and through.
I am, and
Did your blood run blue?
it does. Oh yeah. I'm a bit like a stick of rock. If you cut me in half, it just says Ford, don't live. It does, honestly, and there is a lot to commend about this car, and I will, after everything I've said, I still would have one.
Yeah, I would.
And I'd love it, and I'd defend it to the hill all day long, whatever anyone said about it. But I just don't feel as happy about it as the Mk2. Has got some damn good things about it, which was needed maybe with the Mk2, and this now has. So, as its exercise and what it stands for, it is still an RS. It is. There's no escape.
It's still a damn good car. There's still features in there that are going to make the car stand out. But it's also a car that doesn't necessarily have to shout.
That could be a good point, that. It's probably the wolf in sheep's clothing sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think especially in this colour.
Yeah. I do claim I'd love it in this colour. I like it, man. It's a stomp thing. I mean, I remember my first ST on a 12 plate when that shape came out was in the black. Yeah. And I purely got it for one reason. I got it in the black because I'd seen the Sweeney film and they had the ST in the black, and I thought, how cool does that look? And it did look cool. So I got it in black, exactly the same with red calipers and all that.
And I think, I think that looks better in the black than it does in the nitrous blue.
I'll go with that.
Personally, I don't mind them. Fantastic. I think it's a fantastic blend. You've got the practicality of the Focus, but with the performance of a sports car. I mean, what's not to like about that? I mean, even as we've mentioned, and you will see in previous overdrive features, then going back to the Mark 1 Focus, it was still the best car in its class to chuck around corners, and it's still true. And the RS just takes it to another level.
I'll sum it up for myself with all the Ford ones I've had. My two Mk2 STs got my favourites, they were brilliant.
Yeah.
And then I had three of the other STs which were brilliant, I'll say, in a different way. Yeah. And I think this will be exactly the same. I've had my Mk2 RS, which was a stonking car, and I think this will be a stonking car in its own different way. Yeah. And I think that's the best way for me to be kind to Ford. Myself.
But that is the Focus RS. It's a brilliantly handling car. Just let down really by Ford not really investing in a parts bin.
Maybe. I'll also say as well, unfortunately we couldn't take it out. We would love to have taken it out and had it down on the road for your pleasure, but we just couldn't, I'm afraid. But
today's circumstances wouldn't allow it.
No, they wouldn't today. But we would have loved to have done, as I'm still itching and playing with the key fob. I'll have to
try and pry them out of his hand, I think.
But yeah, a beautiful stonking car. Maybe it's adapted from what it had to change from the Mk2 onwards.
And yes, you cheeky git, it is in Focus.
And like I said before, we got all that in Focus.
He had to get one joke in here, didn't he?
The only thing I can think of off the top of my head, I mean, come on, I'm put on the spot.
Regardless of what we've said, I mean, when all's said and done, it's still a brilliant car.
Yeah,
it is.
And I would have one at a drop of a hat given the money.
Don't get me wrong, I'd have this.
Yeah, I would.
This exact car, if I had that cash, I would have this. I would. Because it's a brilliant nick.
And you know what? I'd actually rather have those seats than the leather ones.
I'd have it, but I'd want the bucket seats. Because I love the bucket seats in mine that I had. For all they were a bit stiff.
Well, that's said a bit, don't forget, I do a lot of, used to do a lot of long distance driving. And bucket seats are not good for me.
No, well,
I have to say, seat-wise, personally, controversial I know, I'd be quite happy with the standard seats in this RS. I thought it'd have to be the buckets, but having sitting in this car today, They are fantastic seats.
They're very comfy.
And would be better, I think, possibly on a long journey. But that really is the Focus RS.
This is the sad point where I have to give them the keys back now. You should have seen my face when I started it up.
I hope you enjoy it. We've certainly enjoyed filming. We've had some cracking weather today, which makes a change.
We've got fortunate once again. Yeah.
But until next time,
we will find something else for you to do.
I will see you guys later.